Tackling the subject of the NFL protests is tricky. It's an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people, but at the same time, it's a conversation that we need to have in order for progress to be made. So instead of lightly tiptoeing around the subject, I'm just going to dive in with the understanding that some may have different views than me. Now, when I first saw the Cowboys take a knee on Monday night, I felt good about the entire team taking a unified stance, and I'm sure everyone who has been upset with the protests during the anthem felt the same way, like it was a win-win for all. Yet as I continue to reflect on these events of the weekend, I understand that my praise needs to be more measured. The men who started protesting for racial inequality and social injustice last year were pretty much on an island all by themselves. They were ridiculed regularly, but persevered because they were passionate about their cause. These men also spent much of their offseason in their respective communities meeting with local officials to ensure that actual progress was being made. Then Trump comes along last week talking out the side of his neck about the people who protest during the anthem are SOBs and need to be fired. Now I know that fired the players up, especially calling dudes out of their name and referring to their mothers in a derogatory manner, but I'm not sure if that was the tipping point for the owners. But once Trump started tweeting about boycotting the NFL and getting at the owners' pockets, they changed that tune real quick like. Then all of a sudden, they had an epiphany. Enough is enough. We need to nip this in the bud and immediately unify with our players and take a stance. Daniel Snyder, who is the owner of a franchise with a derogatory name towards American Indians, locked arms for equality. Jerry Jones, who is the owner of America's team, took a knee for unity and equality. But were they getting down for the original cause? Nah. These dudes locked arms and took a knee to protect their bottom line. Now, I'm not saying they don't care about the interests of their players to a certain extent, but once Trump started retweeting boycott memes, the entire NFL found a purpose they could stand behind with the quickness: dollar signs. So now that we've addressed the protests, how do we ensure the rhetoric results in action? First, people have to understand that racial inequality and social injustice are real and need to be resolved. In order to gain perspective on these issues, it's important that people have an open mind, engage in productive dialogue, and work tirelessly to create solutions. And just because an issue doesn't impact you directly, doesn't mean it shouldn't garner your attention. So regardless of how you feel about this video, I encourage everyone to share their perspectives, to continue healthy and constructive dialogue so we can continue to push for liberty, justice, and equality for all.